and gentlemen, for his efforts. Thank you. I request all dignitaries except Rohan Bhai to be on stage. I request Honorable Minister for Information Technology, Electronics and
A very good evening to all of you. The Director of Information Technology, Shri Kabir Shirgaonkar, the Managing Director of IT Corporation, Shri Praveen Valodkar, Joint Director, Shri Milind Sakardande, all the CEO of Startup, DS Prashant, all the leaders of the industry, captains of the industry, our principals from various colleges, the budding startups, my friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, a happy startup day is how we normally do it. Normally scheduled to be done on 16th. Because of the ongoing assembly session which ended up on 16th, it was not possible for us to do it. And at the same time, we were asked to come to Delhi, saying that some good news is there for Goa. So Milind and Prashant ended up going to Delhi. This is the first National Startup Day where Goa was recognized for the efforts, being the best performer in the startup ecosystem as far as the states, the whole country is concerned, the B category. And I think it's a very proud moment for all of us that somewhere, sometimes when the recognitions come, it motivates and inspires everybody. Like Abhishek and the guys just said, it's been a very collaborative effort of everybody here in the ecosystem. The way when the award came up, the first thing what I thought was Manar Bhai and then Dr. Pramod Sawant, the guys who have been helping us to drive the ecosystem. In 2017, when the whole thought of IT and startup started, a lot of people who are today in the part of the GTA or part of the ecosystem helping the government had been a part of the core team then under Dr. Manar Bhai, and the whole startup and IT policy started. It was the thoughts of the academia, industry and government sitting together for the first time and driving a very thoughtful startup and IT policy, basically with the whole thought that we needed to start somewhere. One thing was that we have missed the bus, and second was we always said that we don't have any legacy to carry, because when we started, Industry 4.0 started, and that's how we could have taken things ahead. From those days of what we started with in my first tenure, with governance coming on the doorstep, Goa Online happening, having things at home, whether it was your own certificates, the rest of the things moving, the overall ecosystem started moving. And I think that Goa Online and the rest of the things that we nurtured between 17 and 19 were very fruitful and important for the state of Goa during COVID times. The whole state realized that the machinery was dependent on this Goa Online for every pass system and everything that came out. People who wanted certificates came out from those particular areas, and we realized how important e-governance was. From there, driving into the 2022 under Dr. Pramod Sawant, we started accelerating the whole thought process. And I'm very happy to say, from the whole thought of one startup that we went with, today we are roughly about 734 startups DPIIT registered, including the ones which we have in Goa. And very importantly, 33% of them are women-led startups. Women entrepreneurs are no longer behind, they are there, they have already been showcasing their talent. And whether it's medtech, fintech, agri-tech or tourism, our overall ambition is definitely to grow this number and deepen the impact on these particular ventures. Goa Electronics Limited, a subsidiary of the government, went one step ahead, and we asked them to ensure that the startups which come in are able to provide services to the government in terms of websites, doing them, maintaining them. And I'm also very happy to announce that today, as on today, more than 100 services have come under various startups under Goa Electronics Limited, which are providing services to the government of Goa. So all in all, to make it very inclusive, and as we talk about Vikasit Bharat, and our Chief Minister talks about Swayambhurna Goa, every stakeholder has a role to play, and that's how we have to make Goa happen in the IT way. So when it comes to the ecosystem, whether it was a central support coming to the state, whether in terms of 5G lab, whether it was chips to the startup programs, we ensure that these programs reach the colleges where the students can be inculcated with a new thought. Now with the whole thing moving towards AI, the Goa AI Mission 2027 started. We said Goa.ai, and from there we started having a team of, again, people from the industry, academia and the government participated together and chalking out a plan, whether it was the infrastructure, whether it is a building up human capability, skilling, upskilling. That journey also has started. So we know that as we have these technology things moving, we need to be in par. We also need to know that we cannot keep that human touch aside. The startups have been playing a very important role. Slowly we have become a creative capital of the country. We have designers of different products that are being made for the world, being made in Goa. And in the last assembly, I was just talking about how certain products catering to the UK and the US market will have a small label called as made in Goa. I think that will be the biggest moment for all of us. As a government, we'll be very happy to see. It's a proud moment for us. But definitely, it's a very strong message to the world that Goa has arrived, and we have still a long way to go. But the talent in Goa, we needed to nurture. I think Prashant, through his first Fridays, conferences, design meetings, I think it's churned out the ecosystem and started with the word go. Things have started moving. I'm not saying we are at 200%, but we are not stuck to the policy and just talking about the places that need to be spoken about. We have been walking the talk. Government is, it is very easy to blame a government, but it is very difficult to understand the government procedures. We have the government, the ministers and the MLAs who get identified, and you have the bureaucrats who don't get identified. The ecosystem needs a very clear working of both working together. Sometimes the system does not understand certain things, and that delays the whole thought of what we have in mind and what we need to deliver. So as we come here today, where we think about building a startup in Goa as its own charm, we have our own state which is having a natural beauty, quality of life, and definitely a rapidly growing digital infrastructure. We need to position Goa as a very attractive and competitive startup hub across the country. What also helps us talk about and keep us apart is that through the startup and IT promotion cell under the department, we have been slowly focusing away from the policy and trying to create real platforms for opportunity and collaboration. The startup policy just got amended. We realized that the college students needed support. When we went for road shows, startup yatras, boot camps, we realized that the colleges, the students from the colleges who were coming with products, needed certain support in terms of finance. And that's why we have amended the policy. It's very, I can today say that roughly about in the last month itself, from 5 of our engineering colleges, roughly 10 projects have been given this particular support under the new scheme, when the projects can take off, and the students there need not keep it as a project and go to some other career, but make that itself as a career for himself. So as we look at skilling, reskilling, we have a focus on women empowerment, and to enhance the rural women livelihood and the way they progress, we also have the digital Mahila Sashakti-karan, which has opened up. The Goa Innovation Challenge, which took almost about 500 entries, allowed us to start thinking about how the innovators are, how the thought process is, what the think tank in Goa is about, and we have definitely tried to give them the right exposure. And this whole ecosystem build up, I think, is the moral is that we managed to get the best performer in the National Startup Ranking Awards, which is a testimony of a collaborative effort between the academia, industry, and the government sitting together and working in the right direction. We are committed to nurturing an ecosystem where innovation thrives and entrepreneurship is encouraged at every stage. We want Goa to be a place where startups grow and succeed. There will be challenges, but I can say that we need to overcome them working together. Today there has been felicitation of startups, felicitation of academians where colleges have been there, and felicitation of incubators. I think a very strong message that the director and his whole team has put up, where they have ensured that every part of the ecosystem who has contributed to this part of Goa is recognized. This has been a start. We are ready for the innovation. We are open to ideas and commitment to our entrepreneurs. The National Startup Day, which has started in Goa, has just been a start. We look forward to scaling it up next year, making it better, making it larger, and ensuring that the whole ecosystem, as far as startup is concerned, is able to get the maximum benefit out of such type of evenings. I hope the panel discussions from afternoon have been good enough for everyone to come and have some learnings. I convey my best wishes to all the panelists who have been here today evening, contributing their ideas, talking about the stuff that needs to be spoken about. We can keep talking. The electronic manufacturing cluster coming up in Thue is going to get new verticals in the electronic manufacturing, which is again going to define a new thought of skill sets, which again we'll need to think about skilling, reskilling, upskilling. And as we start talking about this, the student nurtured out of a college to skilling him and getting him industry ready is a part which the government can do. We would request the industry today also to come one step forward and say that we will do it together. That allows a lot of things to churn out positively for the state when we talk about creating employment opportunities. When we talk about the industry, for example, we have an anti-drone industry coming in. Forget the drone, anti-drone. Anti-drone will have special skill sets. Now, when the employment does not happen for Goans, we normally sit on the other side of the bench and we'll be talking, Goikarang Kamut Mehnaun. But when we give this particular opportunity today, I think it's for people from various, it's not only IT, ITES, but it's many people from different backgrounds coming, having an opportunity through technology to skill, upskill and reskill. This is where even the startup ecosystem has a role to play. Look forward to your continued support. I do congratulate my director, my MD, my joint director, my startup CEO, who has been putting a lot of efforts to ensure that the government is not only working as one part of a vertical, it's collaborating and working together. We are very forward thinking. We are talking about AI coming in a big way. We are talking about creating infrastructure that would allow the next generation of youth to start looking at things moving in a much better frame. E-governance, we'll be talking about AI chatbot in a couple of days being introduced, which will make better governance in terms of at your tips. And many more things will keep scaling up. Look forward to moving things together. Let us walk this journey together to make Goa the most preferred, not only as a startup destination, but for the IT ecosystem. Thank you. Dev Barikul. Jai Hind, Jai Goa.
Honorable Minister for Information Technology, Shri Rohan Thote, distinguished dignitaries, our Joint Director, MD, ITG, Proveen Valvetkar, CEO, Prashant, and all the dignitaries and esteemed representatives of the startups and IT industries. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you and a very warm welcome on the occasion of the Startup Day. This was scheduled for 16, but due to the assembly session, we had to have it today. Today's event is not merely a celebration, but a reaffirmation of our collective commitment to innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology-led growth. It is especially befitting that we mark this day in the presence of our vibrant startup community and IT industry, who are the true drivers of Goa's digital and economic transformation. At the national level, as you all know, the Startup India initiative has fundamentally reshaped India's entrepreneurial landscape by simplifying regulations, improving access to funding, nurturing incubation ecosystems, and encouraging innovation across sectors. Startup India has enabled thousands of startups to emerge as engines of employment, problem solving, and global competitiveness. In Goa, this national momentum found its early resonance with the launch of the Goa Startup Policy in 2018, which laid the foundation for a structured and supportive startup ecosystem in the state. Over the years, this ecosystem has steadily evolved, from nurturing early stage ideas to supporting scalable ventures, spanning technologies, tourism, sustainability, creative industries, and emerging deep tech domains. On this occasion, it is also a matter of great pride to share that Goa has been conferred as the Best Performer Award in category B at the National Startup Day celebration held in New Delhi. This prestigious recognition is a testament to the Government of Goa's progressive policies and more importantly to the innovation, resilience and entrepreneurial spirit of our startups and industry partners. Building on this strong foundation, the Goa Startup Policy 2025 marks a decisive shift from enabling startup to scaling startups. The policy emphasizes outcome-oriented support, stronger industry startup collaboration, improved access to market and capital, and alignment with national missions, with the clear objective of positioning Goa as a preferred destination for innovation-driven enterprises. The forward-looking approach is strongly guided by the vision of our Honorable Minister for IT, Shri Rohan Khaute. His vision is to create a startup ecosystem that is future-ready, inclusive and globally competitive, where startups are empowered through robust technical infrastructure, digital infrastructure, responsive governance, and access to talent and funding, and close collaboration with industry and academia. Under his leadership, Goa is steadily emerging as a hub for high-value technology, AI-driven solution, and digital entrepreneurship. On the occasion of the Startup Day, I encourage all startups and industry stakeholders present here to actively engage, collaborate, and co-create. The Government of Goa remains committed partner in your journey from idea to innovation and from innovation to impact. With these words, I once again extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries, startup and industry representatives, and wish the very best and success. Thank you. Jai Hind.